What's up, fellow geeks? We're finally here. It's taken so much time, so many minutes in the movie theater, but I finally got to my mid-year movie roundup. So many bad movies, so many good movies. What should you go see? What should you not see? That's why I was there and you're not there, because you're super lazy and I just have no life. Joining me today is Jimmy from Nerdpool. You might know him as the Geek from the South. He's my good friend. And we're basically just going to go through like our list of what movies that you need to go see, the ones that you need to avoid, the movies that we're looking forward to at the next half of the year, and a few like honorable mentions, because I can't ever fit just 5 things into like one list. I mean, I have to talk about everything. So if you're ready to go, we'll go with your honorable mentions real quick, and then we'll go into mine, man.
All right, I just want to say what's up, the chimichangas and tacos out there. Yes, it's me, it's the JMIE, your 131st favorite podcast host. That's the wrong show, I'm sorry, that's my opening. Anyway, we're going to get into my honorable mentions for this. The first honorable mention I'm going to say is Kong, Skull Island. I'm a big King Kong, Godzilla fan. When this came out, I was excited. And this one I like because it gets directly into Kong. You're not 5 minutes in the movie and Kong's already showing. It's shot well. It's a period piece set in Vietnam, which works well with it. Kong looks amazing in this, and the acting, John Goodman especially did a great job in this. And I just think really it's an honorable mention. It's not one of the best ones I've seen, but I think it deserves to be up there. I'm not going to put it as a bad movie.
From there, I've got Hidden Figures would have been in my top 5 actually, but technically because it came out in 2016, so that it can make the Oscar buzz, I can't feel good about putting it in my list. Even though like its worldwide release was in like January 6th, I think, or something. But it's a very good movie. You should go check it out. Amazing cast, the entire plot, story, everything. It's shot very well. Awesome movie. And then I saw Okja on Netflix. It was getting like a whole bunch of buzz. I'm gonna try and say this director's name. Yon Ho Bong. He also did Snowpiercer. Okja is a little too heavy-handed to me. It's very don't eat meat, you're evil, this, corporations, and like it's not a bad movie. It's just don't hold my hand when you have like a message. I mean, like you're just like tell me in terms of what's going on, and then let me figure it out. Don't be like like rub my nose in something.
No, I understand that. My next one is a movie that you hate. I know you do, but I'm going to say that it's deserves an mention, and that's Fast and the Furious 8. Fate of the Furious.
I didn't see it. So
well, okay,
maybe it's good.
But I'm just saying the reason is because these movies, for whatever they are, you know what they are. They're a fun summer blockbuster. They're going there for high action. You're not expecting an Oscar caliber performance. But I will say this: I like how all these movies are tied together. They didn't skimp. Everything does work. They bring stuff back that made me go, I didn't even remember that was part of it.
And unfortunately, I had to put Spider-Man: Homecoming on my honorable mentions list.
Well, can I just say this, that's my next one.
Is it really?
Yes.
Yeah. So it's not a bad movie, and I really struggled with putting it in there, but I did like this weird point scale, and it just didn't hit where it needed to hit. It's not. I mean, like Marvel's gotten into this groove where they just put out solid movies. And they none of them really punch as hard as you want, and I think Tom Holland was good. Like Keaton, he was great in this. However, he's the first villain to like make me actually care about something again. But there's a lot of just blah moments as well. It drags at points. It's not as good as I wanted it to be.
There's a few key moments in the movie that I'm not going to spoil for you because it's too new, but it's just some things just didn't make me go. Tech issues that I didn't understand.
Yeah.
As Tony Stark builds something and other people are easily able to change things, that's all I'm going to say on it. It just didn't make sense.
So,
but Keaton did a very good job.
Yeah, he's awesome. Those are all my honorable mentions. So we're going to go into the worst. We each have 5 movies. We're going to start at our 5 and then work our way up to what is just our entirely just ruined everything for us, okay? So for me, and my number 5 spot for worst is XX. It was this low indie budget horror movie where basically 4 female directors all took a script, and so it was this way to show that women could also direct horror movies, which it's a very guy-driven genre. So I watched it. I was really excited to see this. Folks talked about it, and there was not enough substance here for me. They're such short little films. They're so quick. You don't get really anything out of them, and I was really disappointed in this.
Well, this next one, be prepared, Internet, because I'm fixing to grab hate speech for this. My number 5 is Logan.
Ooh.
Logan he had a good cast. Everybody in it did a good job. The movie, the story was just kind of blah. It took a long time to get into it, and it was overhyped. I mean, people were screaming, "It's the Dark Knight."
Yeah.
It's not. It was Hugh Jackman's swan song, and I think that kind of just
He was good in it.
He was great.
He always goes into it fully.
The cast was great,
sure.
but it's just the only good part about it was actually being able to see the blood when Wolverine does a berserker. But I don't need to see him dying. I don't need to see Professor X having dementia.
Gotcha. So my number 4 is Fist Fight. This starred Charlie Day and Ice Cube, and this was not funny. This movie has one scene, and that's basically Charlie Day and his daughter dancing, and you can catch that on Facebook. And it's entirely on there. There's nothing here. It's such a stretch to the plot. It's ridiculous, and not in the good way.
Mine's another one that was supposed to be funny that wasn't, and that's Baywatch. Don't watch this movie.
I almost went and saw it last night.
It is not good. It's not funny. The action isn't well. They just put it out there because they said, hey, we got The Rock and Zac Efron.
Yep.
Let's put them shirtless, and let's call it Baywatch because men think it's going to be Pamela Anderson running around, and that's basically all it was. It's not worth seeing. I'm sorry to anybody that made it. I don't know who gave them the money to make it. Change it. Don't ever do it again.
My number 3 for worst movie is The Great Wall. This terrible wannabe film stars Matt Damon and the guy from Game of Thrones, the Red Viper. And for whatever reason, Matt Damon has this really thick American accent. I mean, they didn't even try. They're in the 1500s, and Matt Damon just walk around hey, how's it going? Oh, okay, cool. There's no backstory. There's okay shots of color, and that's it. It's really gross and just hurt my feelings.
Well, my number 3 is another period piece, and that's King Arthur.
Okay, yeah.
The movie is a paint-by-numbers King Arthur. It's nothing you haven't seen before. They tried to make it a Lord of the Rings type. It's not that. Charlie Hunnam is not a great actor. Stick with what you know. He did good in Sons of Anarchy. He's good in that role. He's trying not to be typecast. There's nothing wrong with being typecast in a role when you're making money doing it.
Right.
I'm telling you, this Charlie Hunnam's not that great of an actor, and whatever he's in, if it's not him being a biker or something like that, I don't really care to see it anymore because he's not good. The story of this is very basic, paint-by-numbers King Arthur.
Yeah.
It's just not worth it to me.
My number 2 worst is the Belko experiment. This had such a cool concept, and it could have been satire and funny and this dark comedy, and it could have been Office Space meets the Battle Royale High School, which is what they pushed it as. Instead, you get an hour and a half of people crying on their knees, trying not to get shot in the face until the very end, and it's just depressing, and you hate it the whole way through.
Okay, my number 2 is again another nerd series that we love, and it's Alien Covenant. The movie's not good. I'm sorry. The CGI of the alien took me out of it for me. It's not what I wanted. The Prometheus thing was billed as a Prometheus sequel and an Alien prequel all rolled into one. They take the Prometheus story and they gloss over it in 5 minutes. And if that, and it just doesn't make sense. You have a robot that's in love with somebody, but yet they kill this person to create a human race or an alien race, and it just doesn't work. Ridley Scott is so great at what he does, and I was so excited when he got this back. And then when I went and saw it, I walked out going, "What the
What's
hell
funny?
did I just
So
see?"
I watched it, and I didn't hate it, but I didn't think it was good because he's such a good director that I can watch anything he does. But his independent storytelling is going way down. He did the Martian about 3 years ago, whatever, and that wasn't written by him, but it was shot by him, and it was awesome. It was very, very good. So I agree, it's not great. And my number 1 most hated movie of the year is The Mummy. Good Lord, Tom Cruise cannot sell a movie anymore as just being Tom Cruise. And I don't know what he was thinking. I don't know how much money he was promised in this, but this was boring. It was boring from the jump, and I don't get why even make it action. I mean, if you're going to try and relaunch the entire Dark Universe, let's go horror, crime noir. Let's go something small scale.
Go back to the basics of what it was. You don't need anything strong to sell Dracula and the Wolfman and Mummy, and you don't need all this frills and all this from the point of Igor. We don't need all of this if you're trying to build a universe. Just go back to what we love, the Universal monster movies. Make a Universal monster movie and let us enjoy it, because people will go see it instead of this. We're going to cast a big name and change everything to try to appease people. It just.
They're almost trying to pull a DC style here. Hey guys, we're gonna have 10 movies in the future. It's well, you probably need to make one good one first.
You need to get one out of the gate.
So I'm doing my worst list.
Okay, my worst list is again one that if you listen to my podcast, Nerdpool podcast on SoundCloud, I will tell you this. Yes, that's a shameless plug. Anyway, it is Transformers: The Last Night.
Okay.
The reason is because they wasted Anthony Hopkins, one of the greatest actors of our time. I don't know how they got him to do this. I don't know if he's got dementia and they're like, whatever, but there's him and Mark Wahlberg, which I never thought I'd say, or in a scene, trying to make this realistic. And in this movie, the Transformers are secondary. They're really not essential to the plot around it. It's very strange. They're not in it that much. It's just based around human characters. And if you're going to see a Transformer movie, you know what you're going to see. You're going to see explosions. You're going to see robots become cars, and every car in this, every Transformer in this ends up being a Bugatti or a McLaren, and it annoys me.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, Transformers were never good, and this is just terrible.
So going into my best 5, I'm going to start off with Beauty and the Beast.
My dear Belle, you're so ahead of your time. This is a small village.
You are the most gorgeous thing I've ever seen. Nobody deserves you.
And it's small-minded as well. But small also means safe.
I went and saw this. This is one of my favorite original cartoon drawn animation Walt Disney movies. My favorite heroes actually guest on. That's a whole other video. This was well done. From top to from everything, from song choices, from scene structures, from pacing, characters, the acting. Everybody killed it in this. I had fun the entire way through. I mean, like I would crack jokes here and there because there are some silly stuff like the end when the beast like it growls for like no reason, so goofy or whatever. But it was awesome. Like it was very good. Totally go see that.
That movie is on my list, so I'm not talking about much now. He's basically said a lot, but I'll get to it when I get to it. My number 5 best is the Lego Batman movie.
It must be great to be Batman.
Batman, we love you!
Thank you. I'm blushing super hard under the mask.
Batman!
Pray God.
Thanks, Batman!
I can only imagine he's going home right now to party the night away, surrounded by friends and lady activewear models.
Hey, computer. I'm home.
If you didn't see this is one of the best Batman movies they've made. It goes deep cuts on villains that they even make a joke of that people didn't know were villains. And it has lore from Harry Potter. It has lore from Doctor Who. I mean, it is just a well done. It's fun. It's action packed. The entire cast seemed like they did a good job doing it. And I really think you should go see it. I mean, if you like the Lego movie, this is better than the Lego movie, and it has Batman.
It's your number, what, 4?
5.
5? It's my number 3. I watched it. I was like, this is great, man, because there's so much satire and there's so many jokes that comic book fans have been making for years. Like Batman doesn't make Gotham safe, It's like Batman brings more villains. He's causing problems.
The part that I really loved is when they made it where every Batman film is canon, like it's all happening. And he goes through the iterations of it, and you see little bits of the Lego Batman, and then he goes in that weird time you had in the 60s, and you see 60s Batman.
Yeah.
It just made me laugh.
That he's 65 years old or something. He keeps saying whatever.
Michael Cera playing Robin was just great.
Yeah.
Batman not knowing he adopted an orphan.
My number 4 might be a little controversial. It Comes at Night.
Just gonna run through a few things. When we go out during the day, we like to stick to groups just for safety. The red door. It's the only way in and out of the house. It stays closed and locked all the time. I have the keys. It's the only set. Most important thing.
What's he see?
It's okay. Just go inside.
We never go out at night.
This movie is not for everybody. This is a movie person's movie. It is shot extremely well. The use of natural light could be taught in school. Like it's amazing. The director / writer made it as a point that there would be no plot feeding. Basically, there's almost no exposition. You know what the main character knows, and that's such a scary feeling. And that, like, just being a human, one of the most natural elements of fear is the unknown. And even now, he said that, he's not gonna tell anybody what what happened, what's going on, whatever. You just make it up in your head, and that makes things even worse. Some people were upset because it was pushed as a
true
horror monster film, and I think that's a whole other topic because certain companies don't know how to push films, and I think that's something else or whatever. But it's a great movie. You should check it out if you love horror movies.
My next one is completely opposite from Lego Batman.
Okay.
This movie is, I guarantee not a lot of people saw it. It is a French film, horror film called Raw.
Okay.
It is from a first-time director, Julia, and I'm going to butcher this name.
Man.
Dukoranian
That's
or
perfect.
something like that.
That was French. Right there. That was
Anyway,
nice.
it's her first time directing, and this is a story about a girl who goes to veterinary school to be a veterinarian. Her family, all veterinarians, are all vegetarian. She goes there through a hazing ritual, is made to eat meat, doused in blood, and she develops a taste for meat. Develops a taste for raw meat, which develops a taste for human flesh.
Nice,
It
okay.
is a French horror film. It's, again, this is not for everybody. It is spoken in French with English subtitles. This movie was made in 2016. It came out in 2017 here,
Okay,
so
fair
I'm
enough.
counting this. But this movie it's very raw, no pun intended. It's the way it's shot is beautiful, it's simplistic, horror told at its best. It's a coming of age story like you've never seen of a woman who comes to term with losing her virginity, who comes to term with being around people, and while the whole time is dealing with this craving of meat that she has just developed.
My number 3 is Lego Batman. So there's no point in me even talking about that anymore. We'll just go on to your number 3 there.
My number 3 was an HBO original movie that came out this year. It's called Wizard of Lies.
I went in. I am talking about giving you $100 million.
That's not going to do it.
150.
Love to help you, but I can't.
175.
I wish I could. I'm just thinking if it, no.
275. $300 million. How far do we gotta go?
If you go above 4, we might have something.
I can do that.
And it revolves around the Bernie Madoff Ponzi scheme, which it deals with the aftermath of it. You get flashbacks of him talking about it, but basically it's got Robert De Niro in it playing Bernie Madoff. It's got Michelle Pfeiffer playing his wife, who Michelle Pfeiffer, when I first saw her, I was like, is that Michelle Pfeiffer? And then I was like, she looks like she's 80 years younger than Robert Downey Jr. Like, it just looked weird. But anyway, the movie's very well done. You basically see the fallout with his family, how they all have to deal with what he did and everything else. And the De Niro plays this, of skating a line between Bernie Madoff being a sociopath that you just hate because he swindled everybody out of this money, and him being a sympathetic figure who did it and then realized he got in too deep and is trying to not hurt his family by saying they had nothing to do with it, trying to keep everything from them. The art of it is beautifully done, and it is a really good movie that I don't think anybody knew about because it was an HBO original movie.
All right, so my number 2 was really popular early on in the year, and that is Get Out.
We hired Georgina and Walter to help care for my parents. When they died, I couldn't bear to let them go.
Do you smoke in front of my daughter?
I'm gonna quit.
She'd take care of that for you.
How?
Hypnosis.
I'm good, actually.
You ready for this?
How bad can it be?
So look, I go do my research. Apparently, a whole bunch of brothers been missing in this suburb. But it's cool. Bro, how you not scared of this, man?
Good to see another brother around here.
Chris was just telling me how he felt much more comfortable with my being here. Get out.
Sorry, man.
Get out! Yo!
This is Jordan Peele's, not his debut, but it was his writing and directing overall debut. And it's a completely different take on the horror film genre. Is it where it's not really monster based? It's not like
It's a Stepford Wives type.
Yeah, and I was really afraid going in because when I saw the first trailer, I was like, this can be very racial based on the front, and I did not want the movie to just be about that. And I was so glad that was just a moderate theme in the film, and that it was a whole other thing going on. And just for a guy who's just getting his feet wet, he could have a really good future. And it's worth the watch. It's great. You should go check that out.
I almost put it on this list. I didn't, simply because it really got nudged out by this. My number 2 is Split.
What are we doing here? What the hell is going on?
I was sent to get you for a reason.
There's a flower on the pillows, a flower in the bathroom. Like, we're important.
The only chance we have is if all 3 of us go crazy on this guy.
Who is that? Maybe she can help us.
We're here! Help us! We're in here!
Don't worry. He's not allowed to touch you.
Okay. Split is M. Night Shyamalan's return to being M. Night Shyamalan and making movies that we like.
Yeah.
The movie it's so great and dark, and there's twists and turns, and the character development of a guy who has 20 different personalities living in him is just so great, and him trying to cope, and all of them asking for help while these are dead. And the fact of a kidnap story, it's a horror story that ties into another one. If you haven't seen it, spoilers, I'm sorry, this movie came out in like January. It ties into Unbreakable, which is going to lead to another one, and where it's a clash of the good versus evil. The movie's done. James McAvoy did a great job in this, portraying this. I didn't realize he was that good of an actor.
Oh, he's great, man.
I know, but that right there is what just made it for me going that he's so great. And the movie is, like I said, it's not a complete twist of an M. Night Shyamalan. Doesn't have that oh my god moment where you're trying the whole time to figure it out until the very end. It's not even that big of a twist. It just sets up another movie.
My number one, obviously, if you saw my last review, is Baby Driver.
One of these days, baby, you're gonna get blood on your hands. Time to face the music.
Baby, we need to get out of here.
I have to end this. Are we in bed together now?
Baby.
Baby?
It's just, man, it's awesome. It's so much fun. It's there's so much more that I wanted to say about it on my review, whatever. But I don't want to like take up any more time. But just the entire cast is great. The choices in music, the tones and the beats it hits. It's almost like a musical action movie, and it's just awesome.
Baby Driver to me is what Fast and the Furious tried to be when it makes a heist movie, but this is basic storytelling action heist movie.
Yeah.
It's not over CGI'd, it's not any of that. It's real, raw, people driving, and it came off really well. The cast, like you said, great. The soundtrack is awesome.
Yeah.
It's a great movie.
I just didn't want people going into it wanting like some kind of like, you know, grainy, gritty, like heist movie. Because if you want that, watch like Heat, watch The Town. This is not that movie. This is Edgar Wright, man, kicking you in the teeth. And it's just, it's great the like entire way through. That is my best.
My best, as he said earlier, it's his number 5, is Beauty and the Beast. I love the movie. I saw it. It brought me back to when I was a child. They did every song I wanted, which is the first time Disney did this when they did a live action where they used every song.
And they added 2 new songs
yes,
also.
And they were good. It wasn't like they were just thrown together. And I didn't like Jungle Book. I didn't like Cinderella. I didn't like these because they tried to make it where they'll like, oh, we'll put a couple songs in, but we're not even going to really do them. This one, they went all out. It's a musical, and it's done well. The cast is great. The only issue I really had with it was the Beast looked a little too CGI.
It's awful.
You could tell too much. But it's... for what it was with the cartoon, if you match them up, it was perfect, and I loved it.
What's funny is that you bring up Kong in your like honorable mentions, and Kong looks amazing, and the Beast looks like PlayStation 2 graphics.
Well, it does, but the Beauty and the Beast overall as a movie was just better than Kong to me. It was.
Oh sure,
I'm
not saying that at all.
I'm just saying it brought me back to when I was younger watching Beauty and the Beast, which is one of my favorite Disney movies, and I resonated with it, and I loved it, even with the controversial scene we're not going to talk about, which I didn't even notice.
And so past all that, we're going to look forward to the second half of the year, and we have a couple movies that we're like really like pumped for. For me, I've got the new Blade Runner 2049 with Ryan Gosling. It's being directed by I'm close guy's name, Denis Villeneuve.
We don't know how to say names.
Yeah, he did
Google. I'm sorry. Yeah. Google, come up with a way to where to pronounce names, please.
He most notably directed Arrival, which was a really good movie. It's shot great. Ryan Gosling, he chooses his roles really well sometimes, and he's a really cool actor. Harrison Ford might be good. I mean, he said in the past, like, you pay him enough money, he'll do anything or whatever. But I'm really pumped for that. After that, I'm pumped for Star Wars: The Last Jedi. That's being directed by Rian Johnson. He did Looper. So I actually liked the newest Star Wars,
Force Awakens,
7 or whatever, better than like Rogue One, which I know that like most folks love Rogue One. That's fine. That didn't feel like Star Wars to me. Force Awakens, I agree. It was cliche in certain moments, but I saw it 4 times, and it's Star Wars, man. It's just awesome. And Rian Johnson, I think he's creative enough to take this new material and make it darker and give us like a real like new Empire Strikes Back. After that, the Justice League movie, I'm wondering if Zack Snyder has just one more bullet, man. Just come on, because either he's going to hit the target or he's going to kill himself.
Well, see, the thing I'm thinking about this is that if Justice League takes off, can we contribute that to him, or will it be Josh Whedon's remake, reshoots? That's my only thing. Which again, I will say this, like we said in the podcast that he was on me, SoundCloud.com/Nerdpool podcast. Anyway, I think you're going to have to tell the difference between what did what, even though if he tries to stay with the tone. I'm really looking forward to that. I just don't.
I hope it's good. Because like Wonder Woman was solid, but I think that they just let that director do her own thing. I don't think Zack Snyder knows how to do that.
No, he tries to shoehorn too much to make a universe.
After that, I've got the Dark Tower. I've wanted to read this book series forever, and I was really taken back that this is going to be taking place after the books. So this is like kind of a sequel to the film. So that's kind of a cool take because it doesn't allow the book nerds to come and be like, well, actually, in book 1 it was like this. This is a whole new thing of Stephen King. So this is just them needing to just shut up, watch the movie. Idris Elba was awesome, man. Like, he needs to be like in everything. So like, I'm cool with him. Getting like this, I hate that he's so old now and getting like he's really getting going because he has this like magnetism on screen that's just awesome. And then my last movie to watch is a small film. It's called American Assassin. It's based on a book. It stars Michael Keaton, and it just looks like this really cool action terrorist cell. This guy's girl gets killed and he just goes to work on these people. So like that looks like a lot of fun.
Almost all the movies are on there. I'm looking forward to Thor Ragnarok. Yeah. I really am. I want to see how they go with it. It's
just hope for me.
That's mainly the reason I want to see it. I want to see how they take it off. The Dark Tower is the one I'm most looking forward to, and that's going to annoy people because I'm a huge Star Wars fan, and I'm looking forward to The Last Jedi. But Dark Towers, I've read the books. The trailers look different from what the books say because the book is basically a desolate wasteland.
Yes.
Like, it's weird the way it's done.
Yeah.
And I take offense to the book nerd thing because you push glasses and I'm wearing these. But anyway,
2020, baby.
Now I will say this: when they heard that they cast Idris Elba and Matthew McConaughey, I honestly thought the roles were going to be reversed.
Yeah.
I thought, say what you want, I thought Idris Elba was going to be the Man in Black, and I thought Matthew McConaughey was going to be the gunslinger simply because in the books, the gunslinger is basically Clint Eastwood, and I thought Matthew McConaughey, when they changed it, I was like, okay, that's different, but it looks awesome. I'm looking forward to that. Justice League, definitely, and Kingsman's supposed to be coming out this year.
It is, yeah.
And I'm really looking forward to that because I didn't think I was going to like the first one.
Yeah,
and I found out and I loved it, so I'm looking forward to Kingsman.
Yeah. So those are our own mentions. We're going to close the show. Unfortunately, we had a passing today. George A. Romero, you might know, he did Night of the Living Dead back in '68. He did Dawn of the Dead, and he was kind of like this pioneer of the entire zombie genre. And without him, a lot of the films would not be made today. And not only that, but unfortunately, when he made Night of the Living Dead, he didn't get property rights over the name. So he didn't get any of the royalties off that. So he was like, even though he created this entire zombie genre of film, book, stories, everything, he profited nothing off that. So, and then throughout his career, he was never able to actually find his footing again, and couldn't get like any of the money or the budget necessary. And it's just kind of sad.
It really is, because without him, we wouldn't have The Walking Dead right now.
Fair enough.
We wouldn't. And I mean, it's not just that. I'm just saying that because everybody loves The Walking Dead, and without him, it wouldn't be what it is. It wouldn't exist. He was ahead of his time when it came to horror.
Yeah.
He changed when it wasn't just a monster in the dark coming at you or anything like that. He changed it to something to where it's people, even though they're dead, it's people coming at you. And that's the first time I think that I remember that was being done, where it was something like that, as opposed to being, this monster in the night. It was a person that you may have grew up with, might have been your neighbor, and it was just something different, something, again, raw.
Not only that, but Night of the Living Dead came out in 1968. Mm-hmm. His lead was a black guy. Yeah. That was not done at that time, and especially because being in segregation in '64, it was a really big deal, and him having it was him and a white lead, and there was a lot of undertones of racism also in terms of the end when there's a shot of him not actually being dead in the movie, and the cops still killing him, whatever and stuff. So there's a lot of intelligence to everything that and Dawn of the Dead is all about mall and American greed and consumerism and everything, whatever, and you don't get a lot of that nowadays. And it's sad passing, but he's 77.
He lived a good life.
Yeah,
he will be remembered for always. Anybody who's a fan of horror genres.
Yeah, go check out his movies. It's always a fun time. Turn up the lights, pop some popcorn. It's great. Folks, thank you all so much for lasting through all this. It lasted a little bit longer than we anticipated.
It's all his fault.
Yes, it's always my fault. I ramble so much. But we got through there. It's a good time. See all these movies or don't see these movies. Come back at the end of the year for the end of the year 365 Roundup. Thank you so much. Keep being a geek.